Hey everybody, it's Mr. Towers. I wasn't able to be there with you today, but I thought I would make a video for you to show you how to decompose 2 and 3-digit numbers and on a number line in order to add them together. So we're going to get started today. So let's begin. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what's going on here. And it looks kind of funky, huh? Here we go. So take a look at this number line. And throughout today's lesson, you can let your teacher know it's okay to pause the video so that you can all have some discussion and talk about what's going on. But begin by taking a look at this number line. We have the different parts. We have 486, it ends at 832, and you can see the jumps here that we took throughout on the number line. So talk with your table mates and just talk about what's happening on this number line. Maybe what equation's being represented. Take about a minute and then restart the video and we'll go on from there. All right, so hopefully you've had a minute to talk. And so what I see here is I see that we are starting at 486 and we're ending at 832. And what are we adding? Well, right up here is what we're adding. This 300, this 200, this 20, this 20, this 20, and this 6. Now that's the number that's been decomposed. So what number's been decomposed? Well, if we put the 300, the 200, the 300, the 20, and the 6 together, well, we have 300, 320. Another 20 gives us 340. 340 plus 6 more is 346. So we have 346 decomposed right up here. So really what we have is we have 486 plus 346, and that's going to give us our total of 832 at the end of the number line. Now, why did we do this up here? Why was this important to do? Why was it a good thing to do? Well, what it does is it makes the adding more efficient. It's a more efficient way to add. By starting with 300, we can quickly add 400 plus 300 and get to 700. And then we can take 20. 86 plus 20 would be, I'm sorry, 786 plus 20 gets us to 806. 806 plus another 20 gets us to 826. And 826 plus 6 gives us to 832. Now, this might not be the most efficient way. You might have another way. And that's the great thing about decomposing, is you can decompose numbers in so many different ways in order to make it work. So let's continue. Again, don't forget, if you need some time to talk, go ahead and pause the video. So at the top, let's read that. Decomposing a number makes it easier to find sums using a number line. So in this equation, we have 376 plus 249 equals 625. Now look at how this number, this equation, or this second addend was decomposed. We started with 376, and we added 4. Why do you think that happened? Why do you think the person chose to start by adding 4, and then 20, and then 200, and then 25? Why did they decompose the number in that way? Take a minute to discuss. So what I'm thinking is, when I look at 376, I see 6 plus 4. That gets me to the next 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. 376 plus 4 is 380. 380 is a nice round number to work with. It's got a 0. I love zeros. We should all love zeros. Next, we had 380. Well, 80 plus 20, that gets us to the next 100. So 380 plus 20 is 400. That's a nice number to work with, too. It's got 2 zeros. We love it even more. So now we have 400. We could add the 200 part of 249. That gets us to an even 600. And then what's left over? Oh, just a 25. 600 plus 25 is 625. Efficient, easy. A lot of that math we can do mentally. If you can't do it mentally, that's okay. Use your scratch paper. Use a whiteboard. Let's move on. I have another one for you. Take a look at the way Jacob solved this problem. He had 127 plus 346 to equal 473. He got the answer, but was it the most efficient way to decompose 346? Your team. Now, the first thing I would notice right away and that I would say is I probably wouldn't have done it this way. Since it's an addition equation, I could look at it as 346 plus 127, switch the add-ins around. I would have maybe decomposed 127. It's fewer jumps. That might be more efficient, but we'll go with the way Jacob did it here. Now, the first thing I see is that he took 100 plus 100 plus 100. Is there a better way to do that? Hopefully, when you were talking with your teams, you said, oh, we could do 127 plus 300 to get to 427. We could skip these. We could jump straight to 427. We have 427, and then he did 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. What's a more efficient way? Well, couldn't we have just done 40? 327 plus 40, well, 27, 37, 47, 57, 67. 4 tens gets us to 467. And then we could end by adding that last 6. 467 plus 6 is 473. Now, you could even broke that 6 into a 3 and a 3 because 467 plus 3 is 470. Then the other 3 would be 473. If you saw it that way, that's great. Making a 10 is always a good way to go. Okay. Now let's look at it another way. Like I said, I might have done it a different way. I might have said 300. I might have started with 346, and I might have decomposed my 127 in a different way. I might have started with 4. 346 plus 4 gives me 350, right? 46 plus 4 is 350. Now, what's next? Well, let's see. I need to get to 473. I'm at 350. I've already taken away 4 away from there. There's now 127 left. We've got, I'm sorry guys, 127. We took 4 away from there, so 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. There's 123 left. So we could do it a couple ways. We could say, well, we could just go with the 100. Like I said, there's 123 left after using that 4. 350 plus 100, 450. Okay, 23 left. Well, let's just do the 20. 450 plus 20 is 470. And then what's left? Just that little jump of 3. And we have 473, our final answer. Right? So that's just another way that you could have thought about doing it. I found that way to be more efficient. Okay, I started with 4 to get to 350, a nicer round number. You could have started with 100. You could have started with a 20 if you wanted to, but I think 4 would be the most efficient way there. All right, so you have a little bit of a challenge there. We're calling this the video game tournament challenge. And your job is to combine or add the scores for each day of this video game tournament. Helen and Oliver entered a video game tournament in Glen Burnie. And each day, their scores from the day's game are combined. You'll have a copy of this too. At the end of the tournament, the team with the highest combined score wins a trip to New York City. Now, when I say combined, it's adding them together. So you can look and see how Oliver and Helen did on each day of the tournament. Now, their total score over here is what we need to find out, because then then those of you who feel like a challenge can add up all of their scores from all 5 days and figure out what their total score was for the tournament. The winner of the tournament gets to go to New York City. So we really need to know how much they scored each day. You're going to use the space down here to show your work. So I took part of this chart here. And so let's look at 76 and 49. So what's the best way to do? Let's do a different color here. Let's do green. 76 plus 49. We need to find their combined score for day 1. Well, let's see what that would be. Do we start with 76? Do we start with 49? I'm going to start at 76. All right, let's switch colors here. 76. So what's the first thing I should do? Well, let's see. If we are 76, I would probably say, all right, I want to do 4. I want to get a nice round number, right? So I'm going to add 4 to get to, everybody say it, 80. All right, now if we take 4 away from 49, just showing my work here, 49 is 45. I've got 45 left to work with. but I wanted to get to a nice round 80 number. So it's almost like we're doing 76 or 80 plus 45. What's next? Well, can we just go ahead and do 40, or should I do 20? I'll do 20. I'm gonna do 20. Anyone know why I did 20? Because I wanted to get to 100, yeah. So I add 20 now. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit. So that was 49, okay? That equals, all right, so I've done 20, I've done 4. I've done 24 of my 49. Let's do another 20. Okay. That gets me to 120. So far I've done 20, 40, for 7, I've done 40, I'm sorry, 20, 40, 44 of my 49. So I've got 5 left. Another 5 gets me to 125. So their total combined score for the first day is 125. So that's a quick, efficient way to show how to add 76 plus 49 with decomposing. I decomposed my 49 into a 4 plus 20 plus 20 plus 5. Let's make sure that's right. 20 plus 20 is 40. Another 4 is 45. Sorry, 20 plus 20 is 40. Another 4 is 44. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Yep, I'm right. Me 125 if I add it to 76. And I show that on my number line. So now your job is to work together or independently with a teacher, someone in the room, to figure out the rest of the scores. You can write in the first one that we just figured out together. And then I want to know what the scores were for day 2, 3, 4, and 5. After that, your teacher will give you one of 2 papers. It might look like this, where you're going to do some more practice with 800, choosing different ways to decompose 826. Remember, when you decompose, you just go ahead and take the number, like 342, and you decompose it. Simple way would be 300 plus 40 plus 2. It might not work for your problem, though. You might have to do something like 2 plus 20 plus 20 plus 300. That might work. That might be the more efficient way to decompose it for the problem you're solving. Remember, numbers can be manipulated any way you want. Be smart with your numbers. The other sheet that you might be looking at today is this one, where you're just taking some 2-digit numbers or some 3-digit numbers, using the number line to decompose and show the sums of the 2 addends. Okay. You have workspace on your sheet, so you're going to start with the video game tournament, and then you're going to move on to some extra practice that your teacher gives you. Okay. If you have questions, make sure you talk to each other, talk to your teacher, or when you see me again on Friday, you go ahead and talk to me. Okay. So let's get back here, turn this off. So that was fun. I hope you guys understood what was going on, and we'll talk more soon. All right, talk to you later.